Key Principles: Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Introduction. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl is a powerful memoir and psychological exploration that reveals how individuals can find purpose and meaning in life, even in the most devastating circumstances. Drawing on his experiences as a Holocaust survivor and his work as a psychiatrist, Frankl introduces his theory of logotherapy, which focuses on the human quest for meaning as the primary motivator in life. Through this transformative work, Frankl shows that by choosing our attitudes and finding love, purpose, and goals, we can overcome suffering and live a fulfilling life. Part 1. Experiencing Suffering and Finding Purpose. In Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl begins by recounting his harrowing experiences as a prisoner in Nazi concentration camps. He details the extreme suffering, deprivation, and loss of humanity he witnessed, but more importantly, he explores how some individuals were able to endure these unimaginable conditions. Frankl observes that those who were able to find meaning in their suffering, whether through faith, love, or a sense of purpose, were more likely to survive the brutality of the camps. He highlights that while external conditions were beyond their control, people still had the inner freedom to choose how they responded to their circumstances. This ability to find purpose, even in the face of immense suffering, became a life-sustaining force for many prisoners. Frankl's key insight is that suffering itself is not meaningless. Rather, it is how one chooses to respond to suffering that determines its meaning. He argues that by finding a purpose to live for, individuals can withstand even the most difficult of trials. Part 2. The Search for Meaning. In this part of Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl introduces his revolutionary psychological theory called logotherapy. Unlike traditional psychoanalysis, which often focuses on the pursuit of pleasure or power, logotherapy emphasizes the search for meaning as the primary driving force in human life. Frankl argues that meaning can be found in any situation, even in suffering, and that the quest for purpose is what gives life true value and fulfillment. Frankl suggests that people are not defined by their circumstances, but by the meanings they attribute to them. He emphasizes that meaning can be found in all aspects of life, through work, relationships, personal growth, and even in the face of suffering. When people have a sense of meaning, they are more resilient and capable of facing life's hardships with strength and dignity. Ultimately, Frankl asserts that individuals are not merely driven by external pleasures or material desires, but by a deeper longing to live a life of significance. This search for meaning becomes essential not just to survival, but to finding true fulfillment and inner peace. Part 3. Freedom of Choice in Response to Circumstances. In this section of Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl explores the profound concept that, even in the most brutal and oppressive situations, individuals still retain the power to choose their attitudes and reactions. He emphasizes that while we cannot control external events, we have the freedom to choose how we respond to them. This freedom is essential to maintaining one's dignity and finding meaning in life, regardless of the circumstances. Frankl recounts how prisoners in concentration camps were subjected to horrific conditions, yet some managed to maintain a sense of inner freedom and control. They chose to rise above their suffering by focusing on their inner thoughts, attitudes, and sense of purpose. This mental freedom allowed them to retain a sense of autonomy, even in a situation where they had no control over their external world. Through his experiences, Frankl argues that it is not the suffering itself that determines a person's fate, but how they respond to it. The ability to choose one's attitude, even in the face of extreme hardship, is what can turn suffering into an opportunity for growth and meaning. This realization becomes the cornerstone of Frankl's logotherapy, reinforcing that inner freedom is a key component in achieving a meaningful life. Part 4. The Importance of Love and Future Goals. In the final part of Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl discusses two essential elements that contribute to finding meaning in life: love and future goals. Frankl highlights that love, in its deepest sense, is not just a romantic feeling, but an enduring connection with others that transcends physical presence. The ability to love and care for others gives life profound meaning and is a source of strength in times of hardship. Frankl shares how, during his time in the concentration camps, the thought of reuniting with his loved ones and the love he held for them provided him with the emotional resilience to endure unimaginable suffering. He stresses that love provides a sense of purpose that helps individuals see beyond their immediate pain and focus on something greater than themselves. In addition to love, Frankl underscores the significance of having future goals and aspirations. Having a sense of purpose, a goal to strive for, or a mission to accomplish keeps individuals moving forward even when faced with suffering. For Frankl, the future serves as a guiding light, and by living with a vision of what could be, people can find the strength to endure present struggles. Ultimately, Frankl teaches that love and future goals are vital components of a meaningful life. They provide direction, purpose, and a deep sense of fulfillment, even in the most challenging circumstances. By keeping these elements alive, we can find meaning in every moment and continue to move toward a brighter, more purposeful future.